Morning.
Good morning. It's a beautiful morning out there. Hopefully you'll get out there very soon. But right now we have a legislative meeting of June the 4th. And we always start our meeting with silent prayer and a pledge of allegiance. So if you could just take a moment for silent prayer. Thank you. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, why don't we introduce ourselves?
Quinn Falter, Executive Assistant.
Christy Rischel, Interim Clerk. Good morning. I'm County Commissioner Denise Driehaus.
Jeff Aludo, County Administrator.
Ian Schooley, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney.
Stephanie Summerall Dumas, President of the Board. And I make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Second. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
Okay, so we have no information. Let me know if I need to excuse, okay? We have one public comment. Barbara Wilden, please come forward. You have 2 minutes, thank you.
Okay, I'll make it quick. My name is Barbara Wilden. I'm here because my son had an event planned at the Hamilton County Sheriff Fairgrounds, and he had everything in place days before the event. The sheriffs pulled the detail, which we were required to have for officers. When we met with the Hamilton County Fairgrounds, me, myself, the vice mayor of Lincoln Heights, we went down to see why the detail was pulled. They said it was in correlation, they were told, because of his connection with the village of Lincoln Heights, which is a predominantly African-American community. Why his association for that would stop them from pulling the detail, and they would not allow CPD to do the detail either. And Vice Mayor contacted Sheriff McGruffrey. She said that wasn't the case. It was because of the number of people that were planning to attend. It's the Hamilton County Fairgrounds. They hold thousands of people, so that could not have been the reason. The reason was his association with Lincoln Heights is what they told the fairgrounds, because she said in 20 years she's never seen that happen. So we had vendors. My son lost tons of money because of that, and they waited days before the event was set to take place to pull the plug, and gave us a runaround days before and said we could use CPD, and then texted us back and said, no, you can't use them because they have to be deputized first. What does that mean? We didn't know. So I wanted to put it on record. I've already filed a complaint. I want to know the real reason why they pulled that detail days before his event was set to happen. If it was because of his association with Lincoln Heights, that's racial as heck. It's a predominantly black community. He's had this event 6 years, no incidents. This is the first time he's even used Hamilton County Fairgrounds. So what was the problem?
Okay. Are you done?
Yeah, I guess I got 19 minutes.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I'm trying to get it out loud because that just
I didn't
really.
want to stop you before your time ran.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I really want to know the real reason they pulled that detail.
Okay.
And then gave us the runaround. Like,
Well, thank you so much for coming. And you filed a complaint. Can you tell me who you filed a complaint with?
the NAACP told me to file it online. I just filled out a form. I didn't do anything officially, like go down there. She just told me when I contacted them, you need to file a complaint against the sheriff's department for the incident, because that, to pull they even thought it was crazy. Like, what? And then they even put it on paper, like, we're pulling the detail. No, you can't use CPD, and no, we're not going to allow Hamilton County Department of Health to come and verify any vendors either. Like,
Okay. And what was the date, the scheduled date of the event?
it was May 30th.
30th.
What was
Okay.
the name of the
And so, excuse me.
I'm just.
So it was May 30th?
Yes.
Okay. So what I will do is have my Chief of Staff, Bishop Hilton, talk to you when you finish speaking, and then we'll
Please.
try to see how we can help, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it because I
Sure.
need to know.
Can you tell us what
Commissioner
the name of the
Driehaus.
event was? What was the name of the event?
It was a Memorial Day festival.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
All right, thank you for coming down, appreciate it. Okay. Nothing on Zoom? Okay.
No.
Very good, thank you so much. Now we have comments and motions from the commissioners. Commissioner Driehaus.
Thank you. Because we are only meeting every other week, there's so much that happens now in between, and so I'm not going to go through all of it. But I do want to highlight a couple of things, particularly those related to the county. So we attended the Veterans Press Conference. The VSC opened their offices over at the Central Campus, and so we were there to celebrate with them. We're thrilled that they're in that building that's accessible, free parking, and they're working in coordination with some of the other organizations in the Central Campus. So thanks to Glenn Welling for the invitation to participate. It's really they're going to serve many, many veterans at that location, and it's really a great move for the county. I also attended the Finley Forward public launch over at Finley Market. They've got new offices over there to continue to do the good work, so thank you to them for the invitation for that. I went to the Cincinnati Association Awards Dinner, recognizing the Cincinnatians that are living in the memory of Donald and Marion Spencer in the civil rights movement, so I was glad to attend that. Thank you to Susan Noonan for that invitation. Went to the Madeira Memorial Day March and ceremony, very well done. They had a great crowd. It was a beautiful day, and recognizing the service of veterans, particularly those who have been lost. Went to the READY legislator briefing. READY is one of our economic development partners, and so was glad to listen to what they are doing, the good work, the number of jobs that have been created in this region through READY, and grateful to them for the work and appreciated the summary of that. Went to the Farm Bureau Policy Breakfast. I'm going to try to lop off some of these. And then I think lastly, we had the Pride flag raising ceremony. This is an annual event. We've been doing this since 2019, and we fly the Pride flag through Pride Month in June in all the county buildings. And so thank you to the commissioners for participating, those who could make it, and all the advocates that were there. It was a nice recognition of all that we've done in this county related to embracing people from the LGBTQ community and the work that has been done and the progress that has been made. And thanks especially to Scott Knox for speaking at the event. I also have some students here today that are shadowing. I want to recognize them. There are 3 of them. Maya Modell from Sycamore High School, Fatima Drame is from Dater High School, and Cammie Rogers is from Seven Hills High School. They're here for a short time. They're going to soak it all in here at our meeting, but thank you all for your interest in county government. We're delighted to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a few things. I won't include them all. The Veterans Appreciation Press Conference that we had, which you already talked about, and it was just awesome to have all those veterans there, and that we're finally serving those veterans in a better way. R2 Grant Cycle voting meeting, it's One Ohio. Our group here, we looked at different applications that came in to provide millions of dollars for those that are working with those people that are addicted or trying to recover, and we're trying to get housing for them. So we finally made our recommendations, which will go to the state, and so hopefully it won't be long and people will find out whether or not they will receive a grant. I attended the Investment Advisory Committee. Investments are going well for the county. We just have a good group who is running our investment process. Red Tree is the name of the company that's doing it, and they're doing a great job. I participated in a webinar, Supporting the Journey was the name of it, Faith, Mental Wellness, and Community Care, and it kind of intertwines with how faith helps with mental health, and it was very, very interesting, very good, and hopefully they'll have another one coming up soon. I had a briefing on HUD and what funding they will be providing and will not be providing from the developmental and planning. I'm trying to think, was Holly in there? I don't think she was in there. Development and planning department. And then I attended the Black Music Month kickoff down at Hard Rock and announcing who will be the recipients for this year, and I will let Commissioner Vice President Reese speak to more about it. I'm sure she will. And then I attended last night Best Point, 162nd annual meeting, And so I had the honor, last year I was chosen as the first Building Bridges recipient award for, I have over almost 50 years as a social worker, and they honored me for my participation in the community and the lives that I've helped. And I was able to provide the second one to Mike Odioso, who is a state representative, and he's well deserving to receive that award. So that will end my report on activities. We'll move forward. We actually have a public hearing that's coming up. Oh, Jeff, do your thing, and then we should be ready for the public hearing.
Happy to, Commissioners.
Sorry.
No. Commissioners, no comments, just some by leaves today. You've got 6 by leaves in your packet. By leaves number 1 and 2 kind of work together. By leave, these relate to a grant being received by the Clerk of Courts Help Center related to eviction prevention assistance for expectant mothers. It's a grant received from Cincinnati Children's Hospital. So by leave 2 is the agreement for that. By leave 1 sets up the budget for it. By leave number 3 is a resolution and approving a grant agreement with Brick Gardens and the Hamilton County Solid Waste Management District. Item number 4 is an appointment, Commissioner. I don't know if you want to hit that one. I'll skip to number 5. By leave number 5 is an agreement with Velicor Services for $346,680. This is for desktop technology support at the 911 center. And by leave number 6 is an agreement with Amoresco. This is for a new boiler at 230 East 9th Street at $1.85 million. Is on as a by leave as we're trying to expedite things as much as possible to make sure this boiler is replaced in time for the winter months. So that are your by leaves, Commissioners. Happy to answer any questions. And of course, by leave number 4 is the appointment, Commissioner.
Okay. So by leave 4 is, as it relates to vacancies in boards and commissions, we're always trying to get those positions filled. And 4 is a resolution reappointing a member to the Earthworks Appeal Board, Adam Berner. So are there any questions or comments as it relates to the by leaves? Are you ready to respond?
I'm ready.
Okay.
No questions.
Okay.
Just want to thank Adam Berner for his willingness to serve.
Thank you. I'd like to make a comment as it relates to by leave 1. I was really excited to see the $200,000 for the new and expectant mothers program, grant eviction program, because as we know, Black babies are dying at a high rate than ever before. And so it may have something to do with not having a place to stay or being put out on the street. So I was just really excited about that. Really wish it was a grant that was received. Wish it could have been more, but this will certainly help. So I make a motion to pass items by leave 1 through 6.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you. Let's move on to our public hearing. We have a public hearing for Community and Economic Development's 2026 Annual Action Plan. Who's here for that? Oh, I didn't see her back there. Hi, welcome. Good morning.
We are opening the public hearing today for the 30-day public comment period for our Economic Development Department's Annual Action Plan. This plan will describe what we use federal funding from HUD for the next 1-year period. This is the 2nd year period of our 5-year consolidated plan. The public comment period is open until July 6th. We will have a public hearing by ourselves in this room on July 2nd, only because there isn't another time that the commission meets in that 30-day comment period, but we will come back and have another public comment period outside of that time if folks miss that 30-day comment period where you all are meeting.
Okay. How are you providing accessibility to our community to review this?
It is online, and people can contact us and come and view it either in person. We can send it to them. And so it's available throughout the county.
Okay. Can you give us your phone number?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can reach me at 513-946-8234.
Remember before. Okay, thank you so much. And so at this point, you're going to have one additional public
We're going to
hearing.
add a public hearing
So
based
we
on
don't
that.
have to close this one. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Unless my colleagues had any questions for you. Did you have a vice?
No, I think we asked them on Tuesday, so I'm good.
You have any questions? Okay. Thank you so much for coming. All right, we'll move right along to our regular agenda item. Our engineer is here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
2 items today. Item number 1 is a bid award for our 2026 thermoplastic and epoxy program located in various townships. Bids were opened on April 30th. Aeromark Company was the low bidder. Our engineer's estimate was $400,000. The bid amount was $326,615, approximately 18% under our engineer's estimate. So that was positive. This funding will come from the Permissive Auto Fund with a completion date of October of this year. Item number 2 is a resolution setting the hearing date for the 2026 Municipal Road Fund projects. We'd like to set that hearing for June 18th at 1:15 here. And for that, we have $2.5 million that per the ORC that we put out for projects.
Okay, thank you so much. Vice President Reeves, any questions?
No questions.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
No questions related to these 2 items, but just a quick update, if you don't mind, related to the Western Hills Viaduct.
Yes.
There is a significant traffic problem on the viaduct, and I recognize that that's likely the city, not the county. But as you sit on that viaduct for 30 minutes waiting to get through the traffic, people have been saying, "Hey, what's going on over there? And when are the renovations, going to happen?" I tell them it is happening. You just can't tell that it's happening. So can you provide us with a quick update?
Sure, I can give you a quick update. The last few months, there's been a lot of Duke Energy relocation being done out there. The high power transmission lines have been relocated. That's why it was closed for several days so that they actually brought a helicopter in to lift those lines out of the rail yard. So that's been completed. The contract for the towers will be the next step, and that will hopefully start breaking ground in the next month to start building the foundations for the new structure.
All right, so
Were the traffic problems, are they ongoing or did they happen during the Duke?
they are ongoing.
Okay.
I keep forgetting, and you start over. It's like, oh no, I'm going to get stuck in.
I have a meeting regarding the viaduct this afternoon, and I will bring that up.
There was a CPD vehicle with me on the viaduct with all of us, and so I was hoping he would report back to the city that this is, because they go down to 1 lane during rush hour. It's just really problematic.
I will follow up on that and see what we can do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, you will be a miracle worker because I just cannot see how the traffic is going to be any different with that.
With the existing
Yeah,
structure.
but
yes.
it's okay. You speak up for us all the time and advocate. So
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Just piggybacking on that, with all this construction going on with Viaduct and with the bridges and Duke Energy, because all of a sudden they rolling out, and you got it everywhere. Is there any way that we could have coordinated something people could go to on our website or something to show, like, here's what's going on? I know it won't fall under you, but I'm just saying, countywide, I think it'd be helpful because
Countywide, yeah.
75, it's Reading Road, it's Western Hills Viaduct, it's, downtown in the West End. I mean, everybody, I guess, decided to start. We had no work, and everybody started to do work at the same time.
It is construction season, yes.
This is a big season.
Yes. The county engineer's website, we cover all of our road closures and all of our road projects on there. ODOT's has all of the Brent Spence information, traffic all the restrictions on their site, and I'm not sure what the city has on theirs, but I can confirm that. But I agree, it would be nice if those were combined into one location. And
Yeah,
I'll follow up on that as well.
okay. And I'll ask Mr. Ludo anything we can do with our communication team, but it'd be great to have, like we have 513.org, everybody could go to. Is there something we could go to and you'll know where all this stuff is happening and it's coordinated? I don't know if OKI or something. It's coordinated from, like you said, county, city, state,
Yeah, the information is all there, but it's
but it's
different
already, yeah,
locations.
if it could just
Yes.
be in one interactive map. And I'm not putting it on you, I'm just saying, I think as a county, we need to have something that we can, some technology plugged in that people could go to.
Jeff and I'll talk about it and see what we can do.
Okay, I know you're on it, Mr. Engineer. Thank you.
And OKI is a good source too. Yeah,
Yes.
they're really good, yeah. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt items 1 and 2.
Second,
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese.
yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
thank you.
I'm going to turn item
We're
number
gonna
3
do
over
this
to
one,
Todd Long.
okay. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners. Appreciate it. Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing a renewal agreement for CDM Smith, Inc. For professional consultant services for the Hamilton County Stormwater District. The services are part of a 4th permit term for the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, Phase 2 stormwater permit that the EPA has issued. The original agreement was approved by the Board of County Commissioners in close to the end of 2023 of this month of June. And this agreement provided for a 1-year extension for up to 4 years for optional renewals. This is the 3rd such renewal and covers the period from June of 2026 through June of 2027. The total agreement is the amount of $742,368, and the funding will come from the Hamilton County Stormwater District Fund. In large part, the services that are being provided for this particular agreement help extend the services that the county engineer's office does in the administration of the overall stormwater district, and helps provide each one of our partner agencies like the Conservation, Soil and Water Conservation District, the Planning and Development Department, the General Health District, provide routine support services throughout the district permit and year to provide additional services to each one of our co-permittees. So each one of the townships, each one of the municipalities that are a part of our program get assistance through this consulting effort as well, and they kind of extend the effort that I help provide as the program director. If there's any questions about this agreement, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you. I was thinking about MSD. What's their collaboration and all of this?
MSD is not involved in this.
Okay.
They have the city of Cincinnati has their own permitting piece of this, and they have to do the same type of thing. They were once involved in the district in the earlier days. They had are administering it themselves.
Okay, thank you. Vice President Reese.
No questions at this.
Commissioner Dreehouse? No questions. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 3.
Second,
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese.
yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
thank you. Consent agenda. Jeff?
Thank you, Commissioners. Consent agenda starts with item number 4. Item number 4 is a resolution directing county facilities to fly the LGBTQIA pride flags at county buildings. Item number 5 is a resolution designating the Juneteenth holiday and directing county facilities to fly the Juneteenth flag at county buildings. Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to the county's ARPA agreement with the Free Store Food Bank for $250,000. Item number 7 is a budget adjustment number 21 in restricted funds in the coroner's office, the clerk of courts, and River City Correctional Facility. The total amount of the budget adjustments are $598,000. Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing a third amendment to an agreement with the Council on Aging for $187,571. This is for senior utility assistance. Item number 9 is a related item. This is a $100,000 reallocation of ARPA dollars, also for you will get an agreement back probably at the board's next meeting allocating those for senior utility assistance also. But this is just reallocating those dollars at this point in time. Item number 10 is a credit card charge for Fifth Third Bank in probate court for $29. Item number 11 is the purchase of a F-250 truck on behalf of county facilities for $50,229. Item number 12 is the execution of an agreement between the Sheriff's Office and Q1 Media, or a purchase order for $9,307. Item number 13 is another F-150 commissioners in the Sheriff's Office for $45,311. Item number 14 is the purchase of a Dodge Charger in the Sheriff's Office for $53,300. Item number 15 is the purchase of 2 Dodge Durangos in the Sheriff's Office for $66,558. Item number 16 is authorizing an award of an agreement between Lifespan and the county commissioners and probate court for the county's guardianship collaborative program, which the board has received a prior staff meeting presentation on. This is for $200,000. Item number 17 is the authorization of an amendment to an agreement with Motorola Solutions. This is for an update to the county's public safety radio system for $2.1 million. This is part of 911's capital plan for the upgrade of the public safety radio system. Item number 18 is the award of an invitation to bid with Buckeye Construction and Restoration for waterproofing at Great American Ballpark for $430,711. Item number 19 is the authorization of an agreement with Irwin Seating. This is for general admission seating replacement at Paycor Stadium at $14.3 million. This is part of the overall renovation program at Paycor Stadium. So this is replacing all of the general admission seating. This will begin next off season with the upper bowl, and then the following season move to the lower bowl. Item number 20 is accepting a sales tax payment for the Veteran Services Commission at $12.29. Item 21 is an agreement between the board and ODOT. This is for just a right of entry access agreement with ODOT as they begin work on the Brent Spence Bridge project. It's just a $1 right of entry. Item 22 is the execution of a lease agreement with Cincinnati West Soccer Club. This is for for their use of property at an adjacent to an MSD's Taylor Creek wastewater treatment plant. It's a $1 lease. Item 23 begins some JFS items. Item 23 is an amendment to a single source agreement with the Children's Center of Ohio, LLC, for $510,000. Item 24 is a renewal agreement with Justice Works for family preservation services. Item 25 is an amendment number 1 for a single source agreement with Hope for Tomorrow Counseling. This is for group home services. Item number 26 is an agreement with the Family Nurturing Center for parenting visitation services at $2.5 million. Item number 27 is an agreement is a renewal of a single source agreement with Hearn House for independent living services. And item number 28 is a single source agreement with United Methodist Children and Families for $450,000. The total of those commissioners, I think, and winds up just being around $4 million total for the JFS items. Item 29 is a communication with probate court this is an item to receive for the record. This is for a change to the humane agent list. So this adds deputy humane agents to for the dog warden That's item number 29. Item 30 is the sheriff reporting no objection to 2 liquor permit applications, one in Sims Township, one in Crosby Township. And finally, Commissioners, item number 31 is the request for to travel at the county's expense. This is one employee to Mount Sterling, Ohio, in the recorder's office. And that is your consent agenda, Commissioners.
Thank you so much. Vice President Reese.
Thank you very much. Items number 4 and 5 with the flags. I was at the flag raising this past week and joined Commissioner Driehaus, and also I'm sure we'll have something for the flag raising on item number 5 as well. So just wanted to highlight those. Next, I wanted to talk about item number 6, $250,000 additional dollars to the Free Store Food Bank, and have always been a major supporter of that. But I wanted to. They have a new CEO now, and I'm not as familiar. I know he was the board chair of Metro, but I didn't really have a lot of interaction with him then. And I just want to make sure, I don't want to just, Kirk was special and phenomenal, and I don't want to just think it's going to be the same. I'm hearing from people working there that things are changing. And so I'd like to know, or to have some type of conversation with the new CEO on what is the direction, because I've been hearing some complaints. Some folks been there a long time, and they said it's a change. The atmosphere is changing. They said the attitude is changing. So I don't want to. I voted for some of this stuff because of the leadership of Kirk Reiber and what he has done, and we were able to have good relationships. In fact, when the SNAP benefits were frozen, we were able to get right to Kirk. They put their people right into action. We were able to hit the streets. I want to make sure that, is that still the model? Is that still the relationship? Is that still how we're going to do things? Or have there been changes? So I think obviously with new CEOs, they come in with their own perspectives. I'd like to know what the perspective is and what is the direction of the Free Store Food Bank. Kirk built that new facility. It looks nice. It's wonderful. What's the tone? What's the employees' tone? What's the target? What's the initiatives? What direction before I continue to vote on more money? I will support this today, but before we vote on anything else, I need to make sure that this is the same program, the same idea that we thought we had originally. And maybe it is, but I need to hear it from the new leadership. So just wanted to say that. I don't want to just, put money on here and just assume that we're going in the same direction. So that's what I wanted to highlight there. Because like I said, ran into people and they said, it is a different tone over there. I don't know if it's true, but I want to make sure what I'm voting on is what I know, to be true of their great reputation. Another item that I wanted to highlight is item number 8. And I know I wanted to bring this up. Item number 8 is $187,571.55 additional to the Council on Aging for our senior utility assistance, if I'm not mistaken. And I have to give some kudos. The partnership of the 513 Relief Bus and Senior Day, which is one of our targeted days with the bus. We changed this year. I said, let's do it as a summit to help seniors navigate. And so last week on May 27th, we kicked off the Healthy Seniors Aging Summit, where we kicked off the Utility Assistance Program, and it was packed. Duke Energy was there on one hand with the bill, and Council on Aging was right next to them to get people signed up for utility assistance on behalf of our board and what we voted on. And we also had over 70 partners to help seniors who are being targeted Seniors, they're on fixed income, but they're not on fixed cost. Costs keep going up. And so we had a huge crowd, hundreds, maybe over 500 some seniors, and even the fire department was about to shut us down because it was so many. I want to thank the Word of Deliverance, Bishop Hilton, and the entire staff of volunteers that were there to help. And I want to also give a special thanks to Susan Burke from Council on Aging, CEO, as well as Kim Clark, Ken Wilson, Paula Smith, Kaya Dandy, Ann Sales, and Amy Lonhart. We also want to appreciate the leadership from our county. I want to thank my staff, Veda Stevens and Jackie Taggart Boyd. It's not easy to put together, along with our county staff, Trevina Adams, Arlene Dorville, Scott Wilson from the 513 Relief Bus team, Bridget Dortree, Jim Tinker, Lisa Webb, as well, for it was not easy. We had transportation. I want to thank all of Home 52 Transportation, people called One Number, Sorta Metro, and Meals on Wheels. We had a fleet of transportation bringing seniors there, and it was well organized. And remember, it was thunder and and a lot of rain, but it didn't stop the seniors because they needed help. We had free estate planning by Judge Alan Triggs. That was packed in there. And we had a fall prevention program helping seniors not to fall. And UC Health, of course, always there, as well as a Tai Chi class sponsored by Council. I didn't know Tai Chi was helping with arthritis, so I need to really get more involved. And then we had a fireside chat on fraud, how to prevent it. And of course, Susan Burke and Dr. Renisha Finch, CEO of Seniors, Serving Older Adults Through Changing Times, SOACT. Diminity Orlet, Executive Director of Pro Seniors. J.Lo Willingham, Executive Director of Little Brothers Friends to the Elderly. Mike Dunn, who is the CEO of Meals on Wheels. And so again, and a special thank you to Mary Taylor of Taylor Blends. Had some great food, and Fire Chief Jermaine Hill for serving as the DJ and making sure we don't go over. So I'm saying all that to say that there is a large need for seniors and a lot of people, but seniors for this utility, and they were able to apply on the spot. I want to let people know that they will continuously now be out. I think they're at Hirsch today, but they are still out in the community through the 513 Relief Bus, and they can sign up. They'll be at Hirsch Recreation today. They'll be at Powell Crosley YMCA on June the 5th. They'll be at the Price Hill Library on June the 8th. They'll be at the Anderson Senior Center on June 9th. They'll be at the Sharonville Branch Library June 15th. They'll be at the Madisonville Rec Center June 16th. And they'll be at the North Central Branch Library on June 25th. So they're getting out and about. You can go to 513relief.org to apply. Last thing on number 8, it highlights, and I would ask my colleagues, I would like a resolution, and if I can't, I'll do it on my own. I cannot support Duke Energy going up on people's bills. This is the most I've ever seen Duke Energy go up this close. Every time you look, they got an increase. They said they got to fix infrastructure. Well, I would say don't fix it, because people still can get heat and they still can get air. Don't fix it if you got to pass it on to the users. The bills are outrageous, and I think it's outrageous for them and insensitive of them to go and ask for another increase. I'm telling you, people can't afford it. And right now, we only got 187,000. We need more, and you're talking about going up even higher. It has to stop. At some point, it has to stop. I would hope the PUCO would stop it. And I'd like for us to be on record to the PUCO that the citizens of Hamilton County cannot afford any more increases to their gas and electric bills. They cannot. And so there needs to be a moratorium on increases on the gas and electric until further notice. So I wanted to highlight that we're helping, we're trying to get money, but we don't have enough money because as soon as we help them, they go up on your bill. They jump on your bill, and then they jump up and say, I didn't tell you to have all these crews out here doing all this construction right now. As soon as they come out with those orange cones and that truck, the next thing you know, we need an increase. I say no. So I would hope, I'm willing to do a resolution, or if I got to go alone for the people, I will. There needs to be a moratorium. I'm calling on the governor to shut it down. There needs to be a moratorium. I would like him to sign an executive order to have a moratorium on increased gas and electric until further notice. So this economy can recover, so people can get on their feet and catch their breath. So I wanted to highlight that on item number 8. Item number 19 deals with the seats at the stadium. And I'm glad we're doing something for general admission. However, I will ask Mr. Aludo, when we did the Reds, I wasn't here. I don't know if my colleagues were here. It might have been before their time. There was a project at the Reds, and they did a seating project with our Second Chance program. That is now the director is Trina Jackson. She wasn't the director then. I thought it was a story on the news and got national acclaim on how we were able to have them help fix the seats, put the seats in. And so when we vote on these contracts, I want to peel the onion back. I want to get as much stretch out of it as we can. And I've asked this before, I've asked it again. And I want us to don't move so slow that the project be over with. There's, we had a meeting and then a meeting and then a meeting. But next time when we ever do seats again, we'll be able to do it. No, I need a fast track. I like to see how we can connect our program that we have for Second Chance with these seats or any other seats that's coming. And I think it could be a good apprenticeship or something. We have some programs. So I asked Mr. Ludo to look into that. But Mr. Ludo, we got to go fast because seats are being ordered. Let's don't get it after it's over and say, well, next time, whenever we do seats, which will be 10, 20 years from now, we'll be able to do it. So I'm hopeful that we'll get something quickly back on what can we do. Maybe they don't do all the seats, but they got some. The county got publicity and recognition, and the people were there and they were happy. So I would hope we can do something with that. And then lastly, item number 22, $1, a resolution authorizing the county administrator to execute a lease agreement with the Cincinnati West Soccer Club, Inc. for property associated with the Taylor Creek wastewater treatment plant for $1. Can you explain what this is? When did this happen? How long has it been in existence? And why?
Yeah, Commissioner, I might see if, I'm not sure if Holly has any additional information on this. My understanding is that this is that there has been a arrangement between MSD and this soccer club for a while in terms of the use of this, and they're trying to extend it just through a lease agreement. So I don't have much more information for you than that, but Holly, I don't know if you have any additional information from MSD on this. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Holly was back in the corner of the room. So,
I'm like,
good afternoon, Commissioners. Yes, this is property for the use of MSD, about 13 acres of a 23-ish acre site that's had a longstanding lease with what is now called Cincinnati West Soccer Club. They're leasing about 13 acres. This has been a lease with them since I think the mid-90s. This lease changes the name. Apparently they changed their name to Cincinnati West. This is a 5-year agreement. If at any time the county needs that land back for county purpose, we can take it with appropriate notice.
okay. The reason I was just, I'm learning a lot more about our properties, some of the things that we're doing and long-term leases and things that we had. But I want to say that I had a meeting with FC and Jeff Aludo, and I just think amateur sports tourism is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And when I bring it up, they say, "Oh, we don't want it." Now we're doing $1 leases. So I'm just want to make sure that we're not doing things in silos, but that we're, because they need some acres. FC wants to partner, and they're ready to go. They got some renderings and different things. So, Mr. Ludo, I just want to make sure we're looking at those things with just as much creativity as we're looking with this for $1 on 13 acres. So I wasn't familiar, but you've given me information. It's been around. I'm not against it.
Yeah, and Commissioner, this is also, I know as we've looked in the past for different locations, this is also right next to the treatment plant as well. So I don't know that it's a highly desirable location for a major facility, but I think for kids that are practicing and need just open fields and stuff, I think it's suitable for that purpose.
Yeah, if it's not safe, I don't want the kids over
No, it's
$1.
not, it has nothing to do with this. It has
I don't
nothing to
care
do
if
with
it's
the
50
safety.
cents. If it's not good, I don't want the kid. I want the kids to have the best. But I do support it. It's just I hadn't seen anything like this, maybe because I might be one of the newer members. So I wanted to get an understanding. But you said it was something that happened in the 90s, and we're just doing really a name change is what we're doing. Okay, no problem. That's all I had for the.
Thank you, Commissioner Dreehouse.
Thank you. I wanted to ask a question about item number 7. This is the budget adjustment, and part of the budget adjustment is the dollars for the clerk of courts. It talks about eviction prevention, which is something that we've been talking about, trying to provide as much relief as we can, knowing that the need continues to exist. So can you expand just a little bit on, it's a transfer of appropriations within the Housing Opportunities Made Equal Eviction Prevention Grant to support personnel costs for interns assisting clients through the eviction prevention process.
Yeah, Commissioners, that's the information we have on this. This was specifically to support interns who were doing work on this project. We can follow up with the clerk for some more information on the status of the program, but that was what came through in the budget adjustment.
I guess I'm wondering if they're interning at the help center, which is where a lot of this work takes place. So if we
That is my understanding, but I can follow up with you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I of course support that. I think the more we do, the better. Okay, well, very good. Thank you for the clarity. I was going to highlight items 18 and 19. The waterproofing at Great American Ballpark, is this work able to be done during the season, or is this going to happen after the season is over?
Commissioner, I'll follow up with Joe Paul on that. I'm not sure whether we're doing that during the season, or I would imagine, given the timing of this contract, that it will be done during the season. But as you know, this is the main waterproofing contract for GABP this year. If there is another one, it'll be a much smaller amount. So, given the timing, I'm assuming it will be done this season, but I'll follow up with you.
Just a curiosity about that, because so often we have to delay these kinds of things until after the
A lot of it's
season's
weather
over.
dependent too,
Yeah, but
in
this
terms of
guy,
being able to do that,
maybe not.
right?
Okay, and then 19, of course, is for the general admission seating at Paycor, and this is within that $350 million cap that we created. I just want to make sure people recognize that this is not extra spending, but rather spending that's happening within that budget, the cap that we created for the first time in their history, the lease with the Bengals, where we've capped the liability for the taxpayers in Hamilton County. So just wanted to recognize that. Item number 29 is the change to the humane agent list. I just don't know what this is. And I was just curious to know what this is.
Yeah, so the dog warden has to provide us a list of the humane agents and the deputy dog wardens, those types of things that they have in their employ. So this is that list. John has overheard your question and is here to provide.
I've never seen this before, and
I don't think we've brought this. I'm not sure that we brought it before the commissioners. So I discussed it with the interim clerk, and we thought it doesn't hurt to accept it for the record. These are actually the humane agent appointees, which is actually done by the probate court. The county commissioners appoint dog wardens. The probate court appoints the humane agents. This is a change to the humane agent list that the probate court did, and we're simply accepting it for the public record.
Could you describe what a humane agent is?
Humane agents, so the dog warden's role is to police stray dogs and dangerous dogs. Humane agents are the flip side of that. They police people who might be doing bad things to dogs or mistreating dogs.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's all I have.
Thank you. I just have a couple things. On item 6, as it relates to the Free Store Food Bank and new CEO situation, we certainly can have the person come in for either a staff meeting, and also if you want to meet individually, but I think it would probably be great to have a staff meeting where we can all hear the same message. So we're certainly set that up. Item 7, as the question was asked about, was this going to occur in the help center? And as I researched all our items, it will be part of the help center through the clerk of courts. And we're talking about housing that relates in item 7 also. And I was reading the report on housing, HOME, Housing Opportunities Made Equal report came out. I received a email yesterday, and is atrocious. 82% of those that are developmentally delayed that try to get housing are discriminated against. So there's much work to be done as it relates to housing and opportunities for those that are disabled. Item 17, the update on the radio system, Jeff. How often do we have an update with Motorola? I remember this happening since I've been here. So do you know how often we do that?
This type of update is not something that occurs regularly. It's part of a multi-year capital plan. We do some routine amendments with Motorola because they touch a lot of the different types of equipment that we run at the comm center. But in terms of the radio system itself, this is something that is on a more extended basis. So I don't know if I have an exact year for you, Commissioner.
No,
but,
I don't need
but
a
it's
year.
something that's it's not an every year type of thing.
Okay, thank you. Items 23 through 28, the JFS items. As I researched each item and realized that I'm really happy about our staff over at JFS and that they are keeping our young people local as possible. It was a couple, one was in Columbus, one was in Kentucky, but it's much better than Arkansas and Alabama. So I was real happy to see that. And as
Commissioner, if I'm sorry to interrupt, but I left on my page, I left 2 items off when I had done the total. It's actually 5.175 for the JFS items this time.
5.17.
I said 4.
Okay.
2 items off.
Very good. And that was going to be my next statement, as I have been adding up the amount of dollars that we have been allocating for JFS services. That would take our total up to about $75 million that has been allocated for services, not necessarily spent as of yet. And we're just halfway through the year. So that's an effort to let our community know that things cost, and they're aware of that, but we're continuing to allocate more money as we talk about at the end of the year the possibility of a levy. So I think that will do it for me as far as comments. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion to adopt items 4 through 31 and also to accept for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes,
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes?
thank you. Just, sure.
Oh, did you have something?
Yeah, you can go on and then I'll say it at the end.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to thank everyone that came out yesterday for the kickoff of Black Music Month and Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame announcement for 2026. The celebration, huge turnout. I want to thank Hard Rock Casino, who was our partner, that we partner with this, and just want to thank my colleagues and everyone that came out. It was super duper packed. Wanted to, at the event, the announcement was made that this year's 2026 inductees for the Stars will be Heat Wave and WCIN Radio, the former WCIN Radio, which is the first Black radio station from here to the East Mississippi River. And of course, Heat Wave, a lot of people know their songs, Boogie Night and Groove Line, and Ron Temperton, one of the members, went on to write Thriller. So those are the two that will be receiving stars at our July event. Our influencer, adding to our influencers for 2026, Tyrone Dubois, Vicky V, Marquise David, M80. He won a Grammy for gospel hip hop. Song Keith Little, the blues man. Tyrone Dubois went on to be the understudy of Casey Kasem and has a one of the top syndicated R&B countdown shows. He's also the voice of Unsung. And Vicky V, who went on to be an international acclaimed singer, and she lives in Japan now and travels the world singing. So Tyrone Dubois lives in LA now. So they came in from LA, they came in from Houston, they came in from Atlanta yesterday, and Houston, for those from Cincinnati that came in to celebrate. I want to give a special thanks to the Hard Rock Casino Cincinnati. We unveiled a new exhibit over there. And so you could go in the cafe and see Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame exhibit star, along with Boosie's paraphernalia and some of the others. So that is a huge deal. So I want to thank Jeff Aludo and Phil Beck for working on that. Appreciate it. I want to thank Ashley Morris, who's the vice president, Nicole Vadmani, who's the marketing manager, Neil Rogers, the technology manager. And then we want to thank our team that worked on this: Romaine Jones, Aziza Nubia, Veda Stevens, Jackie Taggart, Don Juan for show, P.N. Everson Price, Sybil the storyteller, Cam Johnson, Al Chang, Kawana Goose Story, Michael, and Manny Pemberton, who came in as Michael Jackson. Manny is a local artist, recording artist, came to the Walk of Fame, performed the intro, and got picked up by Zapp. And he is traveling the country now in the group, the legendary group Zapp, who also has a star in the Walk of Fame. So he did a dedication to the Jacksons and Michael Jackson. And a fun note that the Jackson 5, who are incredible, but their breakout hit, Dancing Machine, was written by a Cincinnati producer, writer who worked for Motown. His name is Hal Davis. You could go to the Walk of Fame and learn about it. Without Hal Davis, I don't know if they would have had the breakout song and become the Jackson 5 that we know. And so I want to also thank from the county, Bridget Daughtry, Trevina Adams, Arlene Dorville, Mary Maui, Alice Bledsoe, and Christy Rachel. Thank you all for helping to support. The next event will be at the library, Cincinnati Black Music Walk of Fame Juneteenth celebration. It's free, and by the way, everything was free yesterday, and this is free as well. At the library, June 17th, 1 o'clock, they will unveil a new display honoring the inductees, and they'll have free posters for the community, and music is just going to be a great thing, and a push. I want everybody to get their library cards. We're going to have a major push for library cards. So that's the next event, and then July 25th will be the induction ceremony, Saturday, July 25th. Get your all-white attire ready. And then the last thing that I needed to say is that the Prince Hall Shriners Midwest Regional Gala Conference will take place. It kicks off today. They've got 11 states, and I participated representing us at a press conference that was held last week. And that press conference had Durrell R. Smith, who is the Imperial Deputy of the Desert of the state of Ohio. And again, 11 different states will be here. We were at the Delta Hotel. It will take place at Delta. They have an economic impact of over 500,000. However, they are connected to the International Shriners, which we're trying to get back. They came in 2011 and 2015 at over $1 million plus dollars, a couple million of economic impact. We're trying to bring them back. So they kick off today, and they'll be in Sharonville. And as we said, tourism is countywide. David Whitehead, president of NAACP, was at the press conference speaking. Julie Kilpatrick, interim president and CEO, Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Needy Beatty, director of sales at the Delta Hotel. So, and I will be there, and we'll try to see if we can seal the deal and bring their international convention back. But we will have some economic impact coming into Sharonville starting today. So thank you.
Thanks. I have a couple comments. I wanted to digress just for a minute. We talked about boards and commissions. We just adopted a resolution to accept one gentleman on the board. But I mentioned earlier about young people that there's a thought that we can have young people on every board and commission. And our office is going to look at try to bring up policy to my colleagues to see how we can make that happen. I can't think of one that they cannot be a part of. So I thought about it again as I saw the young people back there, that we're going to try to advocate and solicit some young people to be a part of filling their own vacancies in those boards, because they have a great perspective on things that we may not have. Lastly, I wanted to talk about the Healthy Aging event at the Word of Deliverance. And it was mentioned earlier, lots of rain. We showed all the people that were there. And fortunately, they did not receive one drop of water of rain. I want to thank my chief of staff, Bishop Bobby Hilton, who opened up his church to have all those hundreds of people come in to have a great time. So I don't want to take that lightly. I know it was mentioned earlier, but just the fact that they did not have to have one drop of rain on them and to not worry about getting out and all that mess. So thank you for opening up your church for that purpose. That's all I have. Anything else? Yes.
Just to follow up on the youth advisory piece, there was a recommendation from the Commission on Women and Girls a couple years ago to do just that too. It was more encouraging the boards to have youth members, but something more solid would be great. And so 100% behind having young persons serve on all our boards. As you say, everybody benefits from the young voices. And so we can maybe build upon that recommendation as we go.
Would you like to take the lead on?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, that'll work. Yep. We got plenty of work to do. So, okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas?
Yes.
Commissioner Reese?
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse?
Yes.
Thank you.